Hello friends! So at one point I decided that I wasn't going to make TBRs anymore because I ended up not following them at all, and I feel guilty for making it at all and just kind of lying about what I'm going to read, and I don't intentionally lie, of course. But lately I've been reading really good books and I feel very positive about what I have been reading. So I thought this would be a good time to give it another try, especially because I'm very excited about fall. There's very specific books that I want to read. So I think there's a very good chance that I will actually get to them. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to kind of test run doing TBRs again. So instead of for a month, I'm going to do a broad fall TBR. I think that's a little bit more reasonable for me. And there's some books I'm very excited about, so I think there's a really good chance that I will get to them. The first kind of series on this list, we'll just see how far I get through them because they're really short, easy books, is the Spiderwick Chronicles by Holly Black and Tony DiTerlizzi. I know I didn't pronounce that right. I'm sorry. But I never got on board with them when they started. I kind of didn't know that they existed. I kind of heard about them more recently, not like recent, but since I started liking The Cruel Prince and Holly Black and all that, like I had vaguely heard of them, but I didn't know what they were about at all. So I've been interested in trying to write a middle grade book after my current work in progress, so I've just been trying to learn the genre and read a lot more books. So I asked my friend Sid, who loves middle grade. I thought she'd be the perfect person to recommend her favorites, and that was on the list, so I saw that it was available at the library, picked it up. I already listened to volume 1, which is 2 books. It's only 2 hours for the audiobook. I listened to it basically on the drive to and back from my parents. It's really fun so far. These 3 siblings move into a new house and they discover this field guide to fairies and end up getting stuck in this magical land with good and bad fairies, and they kind of get themselves into trouble. And the best part for me was that this audiobook was narrated by Mark Hamill, and if you don't know, because he's obviously best well known for Luke Skywalker, but he's an excellent voice actor. He plays like the most famous Joker, and he's done a lot of other fantastic voice work, so he's perfect for this because he makes so many different fun voices for the different fairy races and everything. It's great. It made it really a wonderful listening experience. I don't know if he narrates the rest of the series. I hope he does. So yeah, we'll see how many I get through, but I'm really enjoying them, so I'll just keep plowing through them. And then while we're on the subject of middle grade books, I'm also currently reading The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexandra Bracken. This was one that I kind of just thought maybe got too overhyped, but I follow her on Instagram and I love her, and I'm just like, I need to read something by her because I just love her Instagram. And this book, I'm loving it so far. So the basic gist of it is that this boy, Prosper Redding, he has this very remarkable family. Like everybody down his family line is known for something except for him. Until he finds out that there is a demon inside of him because of a contract that a great-great-great-great-grandfather made. So one thing that I have heard about this, and it's absolutely true, is that it is very autumnal. Like when I first started reading this book, I felt like it was chilly outside and I could smell apple cider. Like if you want to be immersed into the season of fall, this is an excellent book for that. And I'll talk more about how I feel when I do a wrap-up of recent reads, but I am really enjoying it so far. I think the writing is great. And then the last middle grade book that I have on my TBR for now is Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow. Oh, hello, Ren. But yes, Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. So this is about a girl who's born on a very unlucky day. Everybody thinks that she is supposed to die on her 11th birthday, I believe. Yes, midnight on her 11th birthday. And as she's waiting for that time to come, she comes and gets whisked away by a man called Jupiter North, and he takes her to this other world. And then while she comes to Nevermore, she ends up having to compete in 4 different trials. I actually started this about a year ago. I liked it, but my mood just changed in the middle of it, so I didn't end up finishing it, and I picked it back up, and usually I can just pick up a book where I left off way later and remember where I was, but for some reason I didn't remember exactly what had led up to where I was, so I'm going to listen to this one on audiobook and finish the story, and then I'll probably end up reading the sequel as well. Okay, so those are the middle grade books, and then there's a couple just, I think that they're autumnal books. I think a lot of people end up reading at least this first one, and obviously I haven't read them, so I don't know for sure if these are autumnal vibes, but I feel like they will be. So the first one is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and this is why I kind of stopped trying to make TBRs, because this was on one like a year ago and I never got to it. So I'm hoping to change that this year. I'm feeling very good about it. I definitely think I'm going to be picking it up this year, and I feel like it's about time. So, and then along with that, another classic that, this is the one I'm not sure if this is the correct vibes, but I feel like I've seen people pick it up, but whatever, I'll enjoy it regardless, is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. So, Bronte sisters. Again, there's another one that I think I've put on a TBR before, never got around to. A classic that I just feel like I have to read. And I'm honestly just really excited to read both of these. These are like the kind of vibes that I want to be reading right now. And then the, I guess the only horror book on my list right now, but we'll see as we get further into the month if I end up adding things to it. But that is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. So there was this mockumentary that was made about these trenches where mermaids were believed to be, and then the crew never returned. A lot of people thought it was a hoax. So then years later, another crew comes in. Everybody has a different reason. The main character is, I believe the main character is trying to find her sister, who I think was in the original crew. The synopsis on Goodreads doesn't give a lot of information. But I do know that it's about mermaids. It doesn't even say mermaids in here, but I have heard people say that it's a horror story about mermaids, which that's all you need to tell me to get me on board. I love both horror and mermaids. And then the last book, which is going to take up a bit of my time, I think, but I'm very excited. This is the least autumnal book. This is just one that I want to read right now, is Dune by Frank Herbert. I got this beautiful edition. I'm sure you've seen it. It's kind of all over. It's so pretty. And then without the book sleeve, it's got, I don't know if you can see, it's got Fear is the Mind Killer, which I know is pretty significant, and beautiful end pages. There's my bookmark, but very beautiful end pages. So this is a beautiful edition. Oh, and the inside of the dust jacket is also very pretty. Anyway, as you probably know, the movie is coming out, so I would like to read it before that, but also it's one of my boyfriend's favorite books, so I would really like to be able to talk about it with him. Like, even last night, I was like, do I need to worry about how big this is? And then he just kind of started going into, like, the lore of the world. I've seen the David Lynch movie, so I'm a little familiar with the story already, so hopefully that'll help me read, and I know there's appendices in the back. But yeah, it's actually a lot less, it's not as long as it seems. It's only about 600 pages. So I'm very excited to finally read this book. Alright, so that's going to do it for my fall TBR, and we'll see. I hope that I get through all these and continue adding more fall vibey books to it. I would like to read some Ray Bradbury maybe. He has some really fun Halloween time books that I've been wanting to get to. I've read Something Wicked This Way Comes, loved it, and then he has The Halloween Tree and the Illustrated Man, which is a collection of short stories. So if I can, I'd love to get to those. I'd like to maybe do like Sherlock Holmes or Agatha Christie, but that's all if I can get to them. So definitely make sure you check out my fall reading wrap-up to see what I ended up getting to. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would really appreciate it if you would give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz to help grow my channel as I continue my journey here on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.